All right, welcome back to Facebook Live with Farm Stew. And I had the opportunity this morning to interview one of our really important people on our team. And this is Wyatt Johnston. A few of you have met him through the video that he has developed of his trip to Uganda. But I wanted to just catch him with a few minutes this morning to share about his experience and tell us a little bit more about himself. Can you just introduce yourself, Wyatt?
Yes, we know my name, Wyatt Johnston. I am a botanist from the United States. Right now I'm living in California, and I am a follower of Jesus Christ.
Amen. That's the most important definition. So how did you learn about Farm Stew, this recipe for abundant life? I'm going to pop the Farm Stew into here and share a little bit about this recipe. How did you learn about it?
Oh my goodness. Well, learning about it was a long story, a long connection of people. But after I learned about it through, I think it was Doug Batchelor's church out of Sacramento. I think his wife, Karen, had shared about it with me. But I got on, I talked to Joy, and she recommended to the Farm Stew online learning course. And that's where I began learning about Farm Stew.
Yeah, so I sent you to our website, and you can just drop down and on the recipe and link down, and you will get to the e-learning course. And this is your certificate of graduation. So tell me a little bit about what you learned in this course, Wyatt.
Oh man, well, I definitely had longer hair back then. And from that course, I would say it was a simple overview of what the Farm Stew trainers on the ground teach in Africa. And what I really appreciated about the Farm Stew online course is that the lessons are easy to read. There's pictures, they're simple, and they're easy to replicate. And by replication, I want to emphasize teaching. The Farm Stew lessons are made to teach and to share, and they hit the mark with that aspect. So going through, it goes through all things with farming and temperance and how to work with attitudes of different people and public health, water, sanitation, and it's quite a full range of aspects of public health and farming. And I really appreciate it because coming out from the e-learning course, I feel that I'm ready to share about the things I learned, things I didn't know before. Like I said, I'm a botanist, and so reading through the farming curriculum was familiar ground for me. But going into things about water and public health, how to care for mothers, of how to deal with monthly periods for women and what to expect, how to teach and how to sanitize water or get clean water, I didn't know about. But now I feel confident in the curriculum that it's easy to replicate and I can do it myself. How to make different meals and how to make different meals and soy products that are nutritious and actually going to save people's lives who are just eating white starches.
That's awesome. So I am really thrilled to hear that. And the cool thing is God had his timing perfectly planned. So at the same time you were doing the e-learning course and going, like again, I said, go to the farmstew.org website and just clicking on the recipe e-learning, and it's a free course for anyone who can sign up anywhere in the world. But while that was happening, I was actually in Rwanda exploring a possibility, and you can see me there in the green shirt. I'm between one of my board members, who's Donna Sawatsky, a health educator for about 50 years. In the middle is Edward Kawisa, our country director in Uganda. And then a beautiful couple, the Pennycooks. And Dr. Pennycook is the dean of the Adventist Medical School of East Central Division. And it goes by awesome, which is easier to say.
Yeah.
And you can see us there checking out the medical school campus. It's in Kigali, Rwanda. And we were just dreaming, how could we start Farm Stew? And so Dr. Pennycook was speaking to me as a leader of Farm Stew. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Joy Kaufman, and founder and executive director of Farm Stew International. And Dr. Pennycook wanted to see if we could bring Farm Stew to his medical students. And I was thinking, how is this going to work? And then suddenly I thought, hey, you know what? I think Wyatt could make this work. So tell me a little bit, Wyatt, about you and your conversation with the medical school and the dream that God planted in your heart about that.
Yes, I got to visit Awesome the university with one of our farm stew agronomists, Jonah, out of Uganda. Both him and I came. We got to meet Dr. Pennycook and his wife and his family. He took us for a tour around the campus, explained what they wanted. They wanted the farm stew curriculum to be taught to their students, and they brought us to one of their brand new state-of-the-art buildings, and there's these big glass windows. We were looking over in this huge arboretum, and he said, we want to turn this into a garden. We want to turn this into gardens for all kinds of medicinal plants and food, and we just want to have it filled with plants and walkways so that people could come and see, and people can learn from it, and our students can come to it. And so from there, oh man, that got my gears turning. All kinds of ideas started coming to my head. What could we be planting? What could we be using that to teach with? It was pretty exciting. And so we're hoping, Farm Stew is hoping to be at Alka. Wait, you're still there? Okay. I was
so I wanted to see you full feature in case they were watching.
Okay.
You're like tiny, so.
Okay.
So you took the vision, you took the idea, and you said, let me head, to Rwanda. So you headed off to Rwanda. I'm sorry, you headed off to Uganda. We wanted to get you trained on the ground with our trainers in Uganda. And this is Mama Betty. And this is a famous clip from one of your videos, actually, that you produced that is on the Farm Stew YouTube page and actually getting lots of hits. People love the way you were sharing the story of Uganda, but I wanted you to get to share it yourself. So tell us a little bit more about your time in Uganda. And I do want to share, you got your hands dirty in the field. And from what I gather, you also just really fell in love with the people. And this is one of my favorite pictures ever of you just holding the hands of this older woman. And so I just want to hear a little bit about your experience in Uganda with the Farm Stew team.
So coming back from Rwanda, I was pretty excited to be going back, and after talking with the Farm Stew. So I left as an intern, going to see what it's like, what's the actual groundwork like of Farm Stew. I've read about it on the e-learning course. I've talked to Joy and some of the other staff, but I need to see it firsthand so that I could be convinced that, is this really what it says it is? So I went to Uganda, and after a month, I was convinced. I got to see families and people being lifted out of poverty with the curriculum that was being taught by Farm Stew. And what I really appreciate, one of the first things I noticed, the teams are all local teams. They're all Ugandans that just somehow found out about Farm Stew and they wanted to help their people. They all want to help their people, and that's why they're working with Farm Stew. And I got to travel literally the whole country from the north to the south, seeing our different Farm Stew reach out into communities, whether they would be in a refugee camp or in a more urban neighborhood in the south. It was quite a wide variety of people groups.
That is awesome. So I want to just share with you, and I was queuing it up here, learning all this technology, and I'm hoping this works. I want to share a quick 2-minute video that you produced for us, which is just awesome about your story. So we're going to cut to that video real quick and hope we can make it work.
I want to tell you a story.
Okay,
there was once a village deep in. You can see there were lots of children and laughter, farms that stretched for miles, and everyone being
Hey, man, that is awesome. And I'm just really, really blessed for you to be able to capture the essence of what we're doing there. And so you were ready to go. We had trained you in Uganda. You were ready to go to Rwanda. And then what happened, Wyatt?
COVID-19. No one saw it coming, especially not me. We just, we decided, the Farm Stew Board decided it was safer to bring me back home. As things were starting to get serious, the border was going to be locked down within a couple of days. And we decided, you know, it's time for me to come home before things get more serious. So I evacuated. The following, we had a conversation. The next morning, I was leaving the country and arriving back in the United States.
Yeah, we were really blessed. It was a hard decision because you wanted to stay. You were actually up in the refugee camp, like 14 hours from the airport. And I remember talking to you that morning and you were like, I want to stay. I want to stay. And then we just, you know, we're in touch with Rwanda also, and their borders were locking down and we realized we couldn't get you there. So tell me though about what your plans are in Rwanda and what we need to do to get you back.
Yeah, so the plans still remain the same. When I was looking out over that glass window and seeing all the possibilities, I want to go back there and begin actually assimilating those possibilities, starting to build gardens, set up a classroom so that we can teach about farm stew to these medical students. These students.
I'm going to introduce again in this video. This is Dr. Pennycook, the Dean of the Adventist Medical School in Kigali, Rwanda. And then also Wyatt's in the middle, and then Jonah, who's our lead agronomist, and he's holding the Farm Stew curriculum. That's the Farm Stew flip chart. So one of our priorities is freedom to share, which is sharing this curriculum, not just online, but you know, there's a lot of people without internet access. And so they need it in the community in these handheld charts, which you saw in the video. So I just want to, this is the dream for you to be back there with Dr. Pennycook.
We want to take that curriculum and bring it to the medical students. These students are coming from 11 different African countries, and they're required to go out and teach to their local community. This is the perfect opportunity for Farm Stew to be reaching out to the areas around Kigali. And then the plan is all of Rwanda. I've seen it. I've seen Farm Stew work in Uganda, and I'm convinced that it's working. And so now we're ready to bring that to Rwanda. And what do we need? Well, it's going to cost money, and we need as much funding as we can get. And we need prayer for the borders to open up and for the staff to be ready to work with Farm Stew.
Exactly. And each medical student is going to be assigned 50 households that they're going to be tracking with and trying to turn them into Farm Stew certified homes. And what is the significance of a Farm Stew certified home? You were mentioning that before, but our listeners may not have a clue what that means.
Most East African families that live in rural areas, they'll have their own garden area. That's the first thing I notice, is that the difference between Farm Stew home and a non-Farm Stew home with the gardens is the Farm Stew gardens are actually producing and the soil's protected. It's well mulched. There's vegetables are just popping out off the vine. And there's a lot of traditional agriculture methods that are used throughout Uganda and East Africa that have been passed down generation to generation, but aren't that effective anymore. In fact, they're failing. And the soil is, I think in the video I mentioned, it's dying. It's dying. Yeah. And the difference is that the Farm Stew homes are actually producing vegetables. Farm Stew homes will have tippy taps for people to wash their hands. Hand washing culture is not a thing over there. It's not popular. It may have been some time ago, but not anymore. Yeah. So with all the animal feces and the dirt and the disease, it is so important to wash hands. And for a family to be washing their hands in a Farm Stew home sets them up for success when other families are already struggling just to keep proper sanitation.
Yeah, I will say it's been so amazing because we've been teaching hand washing, really focused hand washing, and having you know, just the whole, okay, it actually has to really, really scrub. And we've been teaching that for years. Now with COVID, those families are going to stay safe. And all of a sudden, all these light bulbs are going on all over in the villages. And our trainers are saying, now they understand why we were teaching them this. So it's pretty cool to be able to, know that God had prepared us in advance for this type of crisis. Yes, Wyatt had to go home, but our staff in Uganda, our staff here in a few days, and our staff in South Sudan, these are all local people, and they continue the work. In fact, last week I was on with Amon, who and the nation is locked down, and Amon was sending me pictures of gardening classes that he's doing right now. And Wyatt, I'm sure some of what he's teaching is things that you taught him and Jonah taught him when you guys were there together. So Wyatt's work is postponed. The Farm Stew work is moving forward, but we want you, dear listener and wonderful Farm Stew family member, we want you to help us get Wyatt back to Rwanda and to launch Farm Stew Rwanda this year as soon as we possibly can. So that's our hope. That's our prayer. And it is going to take funds. We've set aside $13,000. Wyatt is planning to be a volunteer. And actually, he's going to be bringing back his soon-to-be wife, which is pretty cool. So we're working to make it possible. All things work together for good, right, Wyatt?
Amen.
So we just thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us, Wyatt, and God bless you. And we're going to get you back over to Africa where you left part of your heart. And I just want to show our people watching here the Farm Stew website real quickly. We have something on there that we're really excited. First of all, we do have the e-learning, which is right on the top here under the recipe. So go there. But we also have a Help Fight COVID and Receive Your Farm Stew Wellness Guide, which is on there, which is taking the Farm Stew acronym and making it relevant to you. And we're really excited about that. If you put your information in there, you'll get a free download of the wellness guide. And we think that can be a blessing anywhere in the world. And so we're excited to share that with you. And please do visit our website and check out the e-learning. And Wyatt, I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for your dedication and your serving as a volunteer to help be a pioneer in Farm Stew Rwanda is just a tremendous testimony to many. And I know you're going to change the lives of thousands of people through God's people working in partnership with the local people there. So thank you. God bless you. And thank you, dear listener. If you've listened this far, we know you're part of the team. So with God, all things are possible. And that's our hope for 2020. Get Wyatt and Alyssa back to Rwanda and launch. So God bless you. Thank you, Wyatt. And I'm going to end this broadcast and sign out.